Welcome to the podcast.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Emily, and today we have a very special episode because we're going to dive into something a lot of learners can relate to, going from shy to confident when speaking English. And of course, Nick is here with me.
Hey everyone, this one's close to my heart because I've worked with so many learners who start off feeling really shy, almost afraid to open their mouths, but then transform into confident speakers. It's such an inspiring journey, and I think sharing these stories can give our listeners hope and motivation.
Absolutely. I know many learners feel stuck in that shy stage, where you understand quite a lot but freeze up when it's time to speak. I was the same when I started learning French. I was terrified of sounding silly, so I stayed quiet. But over time, with practice and the right mindset, I became comfortable and even excited to speak.
Same here. When I was learning Japanese, I used to only whisper words in class, afraid of getting the pronunciation wrong. But the funny thing is, the moment I allowed myself to make mistakes out loud, my progress doubled. Shyness is often just the fear of mistakes, and once you face that, confidence begins to grow.
That's so true, and I think for many English learners, the journey from shy to confident is not about suddenly becoming fearless. It's about building small victories. Like raising your hand once in class, saying hello to a stranger, or recording a short voice note in English.
Exactly, those tiny steps add up. And I'd love for us today to unpack what that journey looks like, the struggles, the turning points, and the strategies that really help learners build confidence over time.
Yes, because confidence doesn't just appear one day, it's built brick by brick. And I think our listeners will find comfort in knowing that even confident speakers started out shy.
100%. Maybe we should start by talking about what it actually feels like to be a shy English learner, so our listeners can recognize themselves in that stage.
Yes, let's paint that picture. Being a shy English learner often feels like carrying two voices in your head. One voice is saying, I know the answer, I know the word, but the other voice is louder, whispering, don't say it. What if it's wrong? What if people laugh? That fear can be so strong that you choose silence, even though deep down you want to speak.
Exactly, and that silence can become a habit. You sit in a classroom or in a group of friends, listening and understanding, but when it's your turn to talk, your heart races, your palms sweat, and you shake your head, saying nothing. It's frustrating because you know you have something to share, but shyness locks the door.
I remember that feeling so clearly when I first joined a French conversation group. My mind was racing with words, but my mouth wouldn't open. And the longer I stayed silent, the harder it became to break that silence. It almost felt safer to say nothing.
Yes, and many learners think they're the only ones who feel this way, but actually, it's one of the most common experiences. Shyness in language learning is universal. It's not about being introverted, it's about stepping into unfamiliar territory.
That's so true, and the important thing is to recognize that being shy is not a permanent label. It's just a stage in the journey. With practice and mindset shifts, shyness can transform into courage, and eventually into confidence.
Exactly, and one of the turning points often comes when learners realize that native speakers aren't sitting there judging every mistake. Most people are just happy you're trying to speak their language. That understanding can lift a huge weight of pressure.
Yes, that's such a breakthrough moment. The day you stop worrying about perfection and start focusing on communication, something changes. You begin to speak more, even if your sentences aren't perfect, and with every word, your confidence grows.
And usually, confidence doesn't come from one big event. It's built through many little moments, right? Like the first time you order coffee successfully, or the first time someone understands your joke in English. Those moments are like sparks that light the fire of confidence.
Exactly. So maybe now we can share some strategies that helped us personally, and that can help our listeners move from shy to confident in their own English-speaking journey.
That's something I really resonate with too, Emily. I used to think confidence was something you either had or you didn't, like some people were just born with it. But the truth is, confidence in English, or in anything, really, is something you build step by step. For me, it started when I gave myself permission to speak imperfectly. The first time I joined a language exchange, I stumbled over almost every sentence, and I was embarrassed. But the funny thing was, nobody laughed at me. In fact, the person I was speaking with encouraged me, and even shared their own mistakes when learning my language. That moment really shifted my mindset. I realized, oh, mistakes don't make me look stupid, they make me human. And once I accepted that, I started talking more, even if I wasn't sure my grammar was perfect. Each conversation gave me a little more confidence, and slowly, I started focusing less on my fear and more on connecting with people.
Yes, Nick, that's such an important point. Confidence doesn't appear overnight. It grows out of practice, kindness to yourself, and the courage to keep speaking even when it's uncomfortable. I used to avoid speaking in English because I thought my accent wasn't good enough, but then I realized people didn't actually care as much as I thought. They just wanted to understand me, and once I focused on that, the pressure eased. I became less shy because I was no longer chasing perfection, I was chasing connection. And I think that's what listeners can take away too. Your journey from shy to confident won't be a straight line, and it won't look like anyone else's. But every time you raise your hand in class, say a word out loud, or even introduce yourself in English, you're building confidence, brick by brick.
Exactly, Emily, and I think one of the biggest turning points for me was when I stopped comparing myself to others. In the beginning, I'd look around at classmates who seemed so fluent, and I'd feel like I was miles behind. That made me even shyer, because I kept thinking, why bother? They're already better than me. But the day I started measuring my progress against my own past self, everything changed. Instead of saying, I can't speak like them, I started saying, last month I couldn't introduce myself, but today I can. That mindset shift was huge. It gave me proof that I was moving forward, even if it felt slow. And with each little milestone, my confidence grew stronger.
That's really powerful, Nick. I think so many of our listeners will connect with that, because it's so easy to fall into the trap of comparison. My journey had a similar turning point when I finally spoke up in front of a group for the first time. It wasn't perfect. I mispronounced a few words, and I lost my train of thought halfway through, but the fact that I finished was a victory. I remember leaving that room feeling taller, like I had finally stepped into the version of myself I wanted to become. After that, every small speaking opportunity felt a little less scary, because I had proof that I could survive it.
And you know what's funny? The more confident I got, the more fun English became. Instead of worrying about mistakes, I started noticing jokes, wordplay, and even slang that made conversations lively. Confidence opened the door to enjoyment, and enjoyment gave me more motivation to keep going.
I love that you said enjoyment gave you motivation, Nick. Because that's exactly what happened to me too. When I was shy, learning English felt like a chore. I only thought about grammar, about rules, about not embarrassing myself. But once I started feeling even a little confident, it suddenly became this exciting tool that connected me with people. I could make new friends, I could watch movies without subtitles, I could laugh at jokes that only worked in English. That sense of fun kept me going on days when I didn't feel like studying. Confidence doesn't just make you a better speaker, it makes the whole journey lighter.
Yes, and it's amazing how confidence spreads into other parts of life. For me, English confidence gave me overall confidence. Once I realized I could walk into a room and have a conversation in a second language, I started thinking, if I can do this, maybe I can try other things I used to be afraid of. It's like a chain reaction. And looking back, I sometimes laugh at how much time I spent hiding. I wish I could go back and tell that shy version of me, don't wait so long. The world is friendlier than you think.
That's beautiful, and I think many of our listeners need to hear that. Because the shy phase can feel endless, like you'll never break out of it. But once you take one brave step, everything changes. It's not overnight. You don't go from shy to confident instantly, but each attempt adds a brick to your foundation. And one day you look back and realize, wow, I'm speaking freely now, and I'm not even thinking about it.
Exactly, and that moment is worth every mistake, every awkward silence, every time you wanted to disappear. It's proof that the shy learner you once were is not your final identity. You can grow into someone who speaks with ease.
Yes, and I think it's so important to remind ourselves that confidence doesn't mean perfection. Some people believe, I'll become confident once my English is perfect. But the truth is the opposite. Confidence comes first, and then your English naturally gets better. When I let go of the idea that I had to sound flawless, I actually learned faster, because I wasn't holding myself back anymore.
Oh, that's such a good point. I remember telling myself, Nick, even in your own language you make mistakes, so why should English be any different? That thought really freed me. Confidence isn't about knowing every word, it's about trusting yourself to keep going even when you don't. And once you realize that, conversations feel so much easier.
I also think confidence shows in your body language and tone of voice, not just in your words. When I was shy, I looked down, I spoke softly, and people couldn't always hear me. But as I grew more confident, I started looking people in the eye, smiling more, and speaking with energy. And funny enough, people reacted more positively, which gave me even more confidence. It's like a cycle.
Yes, exactly. I've experienced that too. The way you carry yourself changes the way people respond to you. And the more positive the response, the more you believe, hey, I can really do this. It's so rewarding.
And I think that's the heart of this journey. From shy to confident is really about stepping into the person you already have inside you. The confident version is there, waiting. You just have to practice, to be patient, and to allow yourself to grow.
Definitely, Emily. And you know, one of the most memorable moments in my journey was the first time I had a real, unplanned conversation with a stranger in English. I was at a cafe, and someone asked me if the seat next to me was taken. Normally, the shy me would just nod or shake my head, trying to escape. But that day, something inside me said, just try. So, I smiled and said, no, please, sit. And then, somehow, we started talking about coffee, about travel, about life. It wasn't perfect, my grammar slipped, I searched for words, but I felt alive. I walked out of that cafe buzzing with pride. That tiny conversation gave me more confidence than months of studying alone.
That gave me goosebumps, Nick, because I had a similar moment. Mine was at an airport, waiting for my flight. A woman asked me about the boarding gate, and I helped her. Then she asked where I was from, and we talked while waiting. I remember thinking, wow, I'm doing it. I'm actually speaking without overthinking every single word. It wasn't about showing off perfect English, it was about connecting. And that's when it clicked for me. Confidence comes from using English in real life, not just studying it in a book.
Exactly. Those small real-life victories are like fuel for the journey. They remind you that English is not just grammar exercises, it's a living bridge between people. And every time you cross that bridge, you build a stronger version of yourself.
And the best part is, once you've had a few of those experiences, your whole mindset shifts. Instead of dreading conversations, you start looking forward to them. You start thinking, what new person will I meet today? What new story will I hear? And that curiosity pushes your confidence even further.
Absolutely, Emily. Let me share another one. I remember attending my very first English club. I was so nervous walking into that room because I thought everyone there would be better than me. And yes, some people spoke fluently, but I also found others who were just like me, hesitant, shy, afraid to make mistakes. When it was my turn to speak, my voice was shaky, my palms were sweaty, and I stumbled through a short introduction. But you know what happened? Everyone clapped and smiled. No one laughed, no one judged. That moment stayed with me, because I realized most people actually want to support you, not tear you down. From then on, I stopped assuming the worst every time I opened my mouth.
I can relate so much to that. For me, it was in university when I had to give a short presentation in English. I had spent days stressing over it, rewriting my notes again and again, thinking about all the ways it could go wrong. When I finally stood in front of the class, my heart was pounding so loudly I thought people could hear it. But as soon as I started speaking, I saw a few people nodding and listening carefully. And then I thought, they actually care about what I'm saying, not about my mistakes. That realization gave me strength to keep going. And when I finished, my professor smiled and said, "Good job, Emily." I'll never forget that small encouragement. It gave me the confidence to face bigger challenges later on.
Isn't it amazing how those moments stay with us? It's almost like every shy learner carries little memories of courage that turn into stepping stones. You don't go from shy to confident in one leap. You go step by step, building trust in yourself each time.
Yes, and those steps can be as simple as asking a stranger for directions, ordering food in English, or saying hi to someone new online. Each small act is proof that you're growing. And when you collect enough of those moments, you wake up one day and realize, wow, I'm no longer afraid.
And that's really the heart of this journey, isn't it? It's not about chasing perfection, it's about giving yourself permission to try. Every shy learner has the power to grow into a confident speaker, step by step, moment by moment. And when you finally look back, you'll see just how far you've come.
Exactly, Nick. To everyone listening, remember that confidence doesn't come before action, it comes because of action. The first step will feel scary, your voice might shake, your words might not come out smoothly, but each time you try, you're planting seeds of courage. And one day, those seeds will bloom into confidence that feels natural and unstoppable.
So keep going, don't let fear hold you back, and celebrate every small victory along the way. Because from shy to confident is not just a language journey, it's a life journey.
Thank you for spending this time with us. We hope our stories inspire you to believe in your own. Until next time, keep speaking, keep learning, and keep growing.